Hey YouTubers, my name is Doug and I am posting my first video on tool collectibles and tool collecting, and specifically on a house sale, an estate sale haul that I had here recently. First time doing this, I'm kind of new to the hobby. Sort of got started out just trying to get a handle on organizing our shop. You know, that in itself kind of gets you going on organization of tools and what tools you have and what are good tools and what aren't, and slowly is getting me into, I think, the hobby of tool collecting. My main goal in this was to organize the shop first, was second to possibly learn more and upgrade, you know, so to the extent, you know, right there's an example where I had a handful of nut drivers. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice? I did go to a lot of estate sales and auctions and things. Wouldn't it be nice if I found a nice, say, 14-piece nut driver set? They're out there. And that way I don't keep accumulating. I'm not a collector in that sense, that I'll have thousands of pieces stored somewhere. I don't know where everyone goes with the stuff that they bring home. But I have a small shop. My son and I created it essentially to get an organization and so that it would stop driving me nuts, but then also to foster this in my young son. He's 14 now. He's always been very far advanced, very good at mechanical things and technical things, but you know, 12 years old and out, just getting the jump on me to go out and change the motor blades. And I go out at 12 years old and he's got the deck off and the blades off. Don't call Child Protective Services on me. He's very capable. But anyway, he kind of snuck that in on me. Just to give you an idea of the son that I'm sort of doing this for, he takes to this really well. And I wanted to kind of encourage that. So that's the upgrade part of it, you know. And you know, in the case of the nut driver example, I'd upgrade. I just did get a full 7-piece set today. It wasn't in its container, but I have a full 7-piece set. From the estate sale the other day, actually. And I can take, you know, the bits and pieces and add them to the nut driver collection, or more than likely a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take an old, very old one, and I'll throw it in a box that we take to an auction. We have an easy way to get rid of things because we have an ongoing relationship with an auction here in eastern Pennsylvania. And I can take things in and just get a little bit of money back that way, upgrading parts. Another example was I came across, and I'll go through the whole haul here shortly, came across a pop riveter, huge upgrade on the one I had, so that'll go in the auction box and see if we can get a buck or two for it. Meanwhile, I've got a nice new one, a nice new replacement. So anyway, that's my background. I'm learning a lot, both about new tools, you know, the whole tool truck debate and where things are manufactured. China, Taiwan, very little in the United States anymore. And you know, when I come across a good newer piece that I can upgrade my tool set to a new one. For example, I did get a snap-on ratchet in the last haul, and I'll grab that every time, of course. But if I can upgrade my parts for better things, so that's what my main intention is to do. And if I get a good collectible along the way, which I did get one yesterday, so be it. So anyway, without further ado, I guess I'll just get into what I got in this sale. I had 4 yard sales, 4 sales checked off on that I was going to visit on Friday. And I don't know, it'd be interesting to hear what you guys have to say about this. If you want to leave, yeah, please click the subscribe button if you like this kind of video, and comment to the extent you have anything to say about what I've found here. But I wouldn't mind hearing about how you guys, when you're going to sales, picking the right sale to go to first is really important. And I got lucky. I did pick, you know, it seemed to be a sale from the wording in the ad that they're basically opening up the house and they need to make a house empty. Those are my favorite kind of sales, because, you know, they open it up, and if you're there early, you go through. And I was there early, and I was the first one to pounce on the garage. So, but I'd like to hear what you guys, and if any methods you guys use um, to pick sales to go to, because it can make or break your Friday or Saturday if you go to the wrong one first, and you get to the good one and it's picked through. So that's the first battle you fight when you're looking to get things, and in this case, get some decent tools. The one thing I'll mention, then we'll get going. The thing I think I've learned so far is that yes, there are some USA made tool truck type tools that that are still made in the U.S. Some that are made in overseas and in Taiwan, especially, as it seems to be a little bit better than China, are worth buying. It's not as much as the quality that was made in years gone by in the United States, but all part of the learning process. But in the meantime, here's my tool haul from last Friday. 2 places. I had 4 checked off. 2 of them were busts. But the first one I went to was that house sale where they just were opening up the house. They weren't even sure how it ran. They were kind of hovering. They didn't know that, you fill a bag or a box and you go to them and say how much, And I sort of had to educate them as I went. I was finding things. But anyway, so one of the first things I found was this pop riveter. I had an old one that was on its last leg. In fact, my son said we think we broke it. So it's around here somewhere, or we just threw it out. I thought I was replacing one. Yeah, it says Taiwan. The brand is Workshops, but it's a way better than what I had. And you need it when you need it. I've needed one like this a couple times in the last year or so, and it's nice when you've got them ready to go. So if you know anything about this brand, I mean, the thing sure seems solid, really solid. You can tell the gauge of metal on there. It seems solid, but I've never heard of this brand, Workshops. But anyway, that was one I just grabbed because I needed one. I'd already mentioned to you guys that it didn't have a full set of nut drivers, and if I do wind up with a 14-piece set, SAE and metric someday, these might go in the auction box. When you hear me say auction the box, that means I've upgraded, and these are going out to pasture to an auction, so I can get some money for them. I could Craigslist them too, get a little bit more money. I'm an eBay seller. I could sell them on eBay. So all 3 of those ways of getting rid of old stock or old tools, I can take advantage of. But in the meantime, I thought I'm going to just set myself up with a decent set, and keep them in the workshop toolbox. I have a toolbox over in the car garage. Our setup is 3 car garages, and I have a full setup in that one garage where the cars are, and then half of our utility, kind of the 4th garage, high bay, is where we keep snow blowers, mowers, and the other half of it is workshop. We're challenged for space, so space is at a premium. But anyway, I'm going to put this in the toolbox here in the shop, and I'll have nut drivers ready to go should we need them. I should have said earlier, 2 of these came, the 2 sales that did have something. One was the house that just got opened up. The other one was one that takes place every year. I've been there before. They call it a warehouse sale, and they'll sometimes have deals on tools. Not much, but I did pick up a tap and die set in the pry bar there. But by far the lion's share of what I'm going to show you is from this house sale. The total dollars spent was $50. At the house sale, where I got most of the interesting stuff, I spent $38. So basically we're up to the pop rivet setter, pop rivet gun, and the nut drivers. Another cool thing I had when I first saw it, I thought, I'm grabbing a buck knife here. It's made by Sharp. I don't have much of a setup here. Sorry guys, the camera's gonna be going nuts. I should get a tripod to this, but it reminded me of a buck knife, but it's a Sharp knife. Really nice knife. Not a tool, but I wasn't gonna, I'm just adding things to the pile at the sale. I wasn't about to let this go. I didn't know at this point what their prices would wind up being. They wound up being very good. Wound up being very good, but I got that. Now this is, we're building up the $38 haul. I'm going to get right into these things. This is what's going to pay me back. Not tools, but any of you that go to estate sales will recognize military. This is a bayonet. I'm not sure if this is a bayonet or some sort of utility knife. It looks like it had something that hung a strap, maybe for a belt. This is seized. I'm going to take some Evaporust to this and maybe WD-40. This one is not seized. And you know, I'll clean these up and put them on eBay, and there the whole thing is paid for. You know, I actually have some stuff from this haul listed on eBay already. Trying to get this in, but still holding the camera is not easy. Sorry about that, guys. Hope you're not leaving because of the bad camera work. So anyway, those, I don't know. I've got to look up prices on those. I'll make good money back on those. And you know, when you're digging for tools and you come across these, who's going to turn them down? I grab them so quick. So that's my payback, among other things. This is not a big deal. This came strapped to the one. It's just sort of a butterfly knife that that was strapped to the one knife. I won't open it all. That's kind of beat up. It had some water damage and everything, but it was an interesting looking thing, and it came with it, you know. So this knife came with those bayonets. Now for the rest of it, here's the snap-on. I've been sort of soaking it overnight, put some WD-40. I'm gonna have to take this thing apart and clean it out. The back drag on it is awful, but it's a snap-on, and I of course grabbed that when I was pulling things out. There you go, snap-on ferret F70N. But like I say, the back drag on it's awful. It needs some work, and then I'll clean that up. That'll clean up nice. I grabbed a couple of extensions. These are just a 1/2 inch and a 3/8 extension that I grabbed. This is, I believe, a pipe wrench. So that too. So now that pile represents the $38 pile. These I found a few of them were kind of beat. One of them's kind of beat up, but I've been meaning to get, and I still might get, some nut extractors. You know, when you've got a rounded off nut, they're nice to have around. I like the ones that have this sort of spiral design to them. This is another. They're all sort of gimmicks, you know, but at least I have something now. I don't know how well it will work if I need to use it. You can see this one here is busted up. I'm not sure if this is the kind that work best are the ones that'll grab, but then you can also hammer into place, you know, and not break the things. So anyway, I got this just because I need something like that. They're nice to have when you need them. They can really save your life. Not the best set, has one broken one. I'm going to stick a couple of these off. Now, I meant to bring, in fact, I think I'm going to turn the camera off and get a couple of the things that I have in my eBay room that are for sale. I have a ratchet. Maybe I'll just mention them. I have a ratchet. What else do I have? Let me think on that a little. I have 2 or 3 things that I put out there. And so there's 2 things in addition to what I've showed you here. The thing that I'm really loving, this is just a sweet little SK set. The boxes, I thought the boxes were usually greener than this. You can see the box tint, it's more gray. And I believe this is supposed to be a 16-piece set. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 of the sockets. You have the ratchet itself. You have one, and here's where I fall short, one extension. You have a breaker bar handle that goes through there. I believe I've seen others of these sets that have this. I can't quite figure out, why this would be in there, but I've seen others. I've seen some. Obviously, they must be larger. This is a very small set. If you can, you can see relative to my hand. This is in there, and I think this is just extra that got thrown in, probably to use with the breaker bar. But anyway, these, I look online, and these sets go for, even if they're not quite complete, 50 to 70 bucks. This is the manual in the bottom of it. It's all beat up. I won't take it out. I don't want to touch it any more than I have to. The part that's missing, the part that's making this incomplete, is there's a longer extension that seems to be included with all these sets. That is about, that's 1.5, 3, 4 or 5 inches long extension. As it stands, I only got the short extension. I did get the breaker bar and the breaker bar handle, and then I'm throwing this in, and I'll probably just throw this in just for what it's worth, just in case it actually came with it and I didn't know it. So call it what you want, 16-piece, 18-piece set. I thought that was a really sweet deal to get this old SK set, back when they made things really well. And I'm going to hang on to that. I'm not going to, when I can make my money back on things I don't care as much about, I'll do that, and then I'll keep the rest. So if I want to kind of start to get, again, I'm just beginning here, guys. So if I can get a collectible tools thing going and start off with an SK set like that, I think that's pretty cool. I'm really fired up to kind of learn more and to go out and see what I can find, see what I can dig up. I love the hunt. It's not about having, for me, it's not about having, it's about hunting for things and finding things. It's like looking for gold, and that's what keeps me going out. So that, and I'm a few pieces short because they're not here. They're in my eBay room. It was I forget the name of it. It wasn't particularly valuable or collectible. It was a cool 1/2-inch ratchet and a couple other things. Maybe just give me a second. I want to try and remember, at least so I can tell you what else I bought. A 1/4-inch ratchet. Oh, I just won't remember. I won't remember. So that plus a few other pieces. Sorry, I should have been more prepared. Was the $38. So tell me what you think in the comments, how you thought I did. I mean, just for this SK set, I'm thrilled, and to get those bayonets, and that'll pay for this and everything else. I thought it was a sweet deal. Now, the other place that I went, basically, I just picked up 2 things that I needed. I've been wanting to get a pry bar for a while. So I got this, whatever it is, 18-inch, 24-inch pry bar. Grabbed that. And then I realized the other thing that I bought. I just remembered. Let me just move this out of the way. Got a Pittsburgh. The other thing I have laying around, laying all over the place. Nothing I have laying all over the place is taps and dies. I have them. I don't have any organized in a box. And I thought, this is one of the things I want to get. Now, this is an extreme upgrade as far as quality. It's Pittsburgh, but I have a complete set, And then if I can take some of the large taps I have and some of the small ones that really aren't on either side of the size spectrum of this set, I might keep them. But otherwise, all the miscellaneous taps and dies that I have that have been replaced by this, they'll go in the auction box, and someone will wind up paying, 20 or 30 bucks for a box full of tools. Maybe I'll put them on Craigslist, but I don't know. Anything less than $10, it's kind of a waste of my time. I don't like spending a whole lot of time listing something when I'm not getting decent money back. And again, I'm an eBay seller for 20 years, not tools. I sell tools occasionally, but I've been around the block as far as eBay is concerned, and I know where I set my limits on how much work I want to do taking pictures and packaging. You know, $10 is about the lowest I'll go, and hopefully I'd much rather make money on one small item that goes for $100 than 10 smaller items at $10 a piece. You know, obviously it's just a lot of work for the money. So anyway, that's the second sale. I paid $12 for the pry bar and for the tap and die set. I thought that was pretty decent. These sets go for, well, this one was listed at $29.99. So, you know, how can you go wrong getting a set? Now everything's organized, and now I can proceed to organize all my taps and dies. The other thing I remembered is in this $38 set, there might have been one other thing, but the one thing I remembered is I got a gear wrench, 3/8 inch socket set in a blow mold box. This is back in the day when Ace sold it. I think from the comment in the comments on if you have knowledge on gear wrench stuff. What I've gathered is that gear wrench was sold, a brand that was sold at Ace. It was sold at Sears, I think, in the day, maybe others. And the best as I can tell from people that I've talked to or communicated with on the internet is that gear wrench, it's well respected. What did one guy call it? Pro amateur. He had a word for professional and amateur. It's kind of in between a tool truck brand and a home user brand. So anyway, I don't have it here, I apologize, but it's probably about, I don't know, 40-some piece set. Gear wrench, SAE, socket, and a ratchet set. So there'll be a ratchet and a bunch of sockets and things. I'm going to keep that as well, I think. Just nice to have something you can just grab and go and take somewhere, or take it to the car or whatever, and have it available. So yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, there's so many questions. You know, right now I'm studying up on all the different tool manufacturers and stuff that's made in China, Taiwan, the United States, some is in Germany. The conclusion I came to is that, you know, you can get, I'm gonna look for decent tool truck tools where I can get them for a song, you know, like I found that Snap-on. I'll do that. But to the extent stuff's made in China, you're almost better off, especially if you plan to use what you're collecting, getting things that were made in the USA. The quality is just so good compared to what's out there now. I'd be interested to hear what everyone else has to say about, you know, just being selective and looking for made in USA stuff, even for your working tool collection, rather than getting some stuff that used to be high quality tool truck grade tools, but the quality is slowly dropping off. I realize every company is different, and there's a lot of people out there that know a lot about it. And anyway, I'd be interested to see any discussion that gets going in the comments on you know, where these things are being sourced, and you know, what companies are still have USA operations, all that sort of thing. It's really interesting and kind of hard to get to know it all, or you have to read from multiple sources. So anyway, that's it. Everything over here is, plus the ones I've talked about, the gear wrench and the other half-inch socket that I cleaned up, and it's up for sale on eBay. Were $38. This is including these bayonets, the pop riveter, this really slick, sharp knife, the bolt extractors, the nut driver set, and all this ratchet stuff. That's $38. What do you think? I think I did pretty good, especially, you know, this collectible set plus these bayonets will more than, well, I'm not selling the SK set, but if I did, they would more than pay for this easily. And then the other $10, $12 was this pry bar and tap and die set. So everything here, and everything here. Extractors, bayonets, nut drivers, knife, pop riveter, another little knife. All the wrench stuff here, the pipe wrench, I believe that's what it's for, to clamp down on pipes, extensions, snap-on socket, ratchet, I mean. All that, the SK set for 50 bucks is essentially everything that we've talked about is for 50 bucks. And I would worry I didn't do that good, but this SK thing, this SK set, the gear wrench set, to be honest with you, and the bayonets to pay it all back, that alone really puts me way ahead of the game, I think. So put things in the comments. Let me know what you think of any of that. I'm hopefully going to do more of these. I like going out looking for tools. I'm learning more about it. As you know, those of you who have been learning for longer than I have know that you kind of never stop learning, I don't think, which is what I like about it, actually. You know, there's always more to know and to understand. So anyway, that's it. I mean, let me know what you think of my first video, of my first haul of the season, going into winter now. And hopefully I'll make another one of these videos with some more cool finds. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.